question. Okay, so let's start again. Just start again. Shut up. When I'm talking, you just shut your mouth. Okay? From now on. So, sinful just means we don't do what God does. Is that right?
No, it's missing the mark of God.
What's the standard which we're not in accord with?
The standard is listen, God is the standard first and foremost, right?
I'm asking you what that means.
It's not even a standard, it's a reflection of God.
What does it mean to not be in accord with the standard that God is? If it doesn't mean doing what, if it doesn't mean, you just used the word, you fucking idiot.
You used the word.
So, no, you used it. You said standard.
I used the word reflection.
Okay. Look, you're saying we're not somehow in accord with God.
We are
right?
not.
What does that mean?
Reflecting the glory of God.
What does that mean? That's a metaphor. Just tell me what it is in literal terms.
Where do you get the normative notion when I say that?
I didn't ask you that. Just shut up. Shut up. I'll repeat the question. Shut your mouth. Okay? What does it mean to not reflect God?
There you go. To miss the perfection, which is the bullseye.
Perfection, again, normative notion.
Yeah, if you
just translate this all into non-normative talk.
This is non-normative.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you mean by perfection.
Well, who cares?
If you don't mean a normative notion.
You don't know what I mean.
I'm asking you to tell me what it means. Nobody here knows what you mean. Does anybody here know what he means?
No.
Okay. Nobody here knows what you fucking mean.
He told us the other day it's two circles colliding or something.
No, let's talk about something.
So can you translate what you're saying into non-normative talk?
I just did.
No, you didn't. You just used normative language like perfection.
Yeah, perfection is the
so I'm asking you, I'll ask you the question again. Shut up while I'm talking. Shut up while I'm talking. Okay, I'll ask you the question again. Can you translate all of that into non-normative talk?
Of course.
Okay, great. So start again.
Yeah.
Don't use words like perfection. Shut up. Don't use words like perfection. Don't use words like good.
I will.
Right. All right, forget it. You're just a troll. I mean, what's the point of a conversation with somebody like this? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, good is not.
Shut up. I'm not talking to you.
You're pretending.
Can somebody shut up. I'm not talking. Shut up. Okay, look. Is he just going to be allowed to overtalk me?
Who agrees with the definition?
Is there somebody here who's going to shut him up?
Are you kidding me, Jack?
Is there somebody here who's going to shut him up? Is there somebody here who's going to shut him up? Who has mods?
Converse and Tom.
I've got mine. Yeah. Look, here's what's happening, okay? John wants to say that, look, there's nothing that you can do of yourself to be clear with God because there's you've already sinned, you've already not lived up to the standard. Thus, after you did that, there's nothing you can do to be blameless before God, right? It's all normative language. But then he wants to say that because you didn't live up to it, he's saying all the things that you do after that aren't normative because you didn't live up to it already or something.
Kind of.
Yeah, but I just don't understand, like, what... He's refusing to give a non-normative translation of all this normative language. So how is it that it would ever be possible to understand what he's talking about if he won't translate it? Shut up. I'm not talking to you. I'm asking people to explain to me what the point of talking to you is, right?
The good news of the gospel.
I'm not asking you to answer. I'm not talking to you. Why do you keep opening your mouth? Just shut your mouth. Why do you guys let him talk like this?
John, look. Yeah, so what was your question, Jack?
My question is, what's the point of talking to somebody, right, who's going to use normative language, not explain what the normative language means by translating it into non-normative terms, because he's claiming it's all non-normative, right? He's not going to do that, So how do you possibly expect to understand how do you possibly hope to understand what he's saying?
Well, I think that people are just hoping that at something will finally break through and like make him see the error of his way. But I think what you're saying is, look, how are you going to do it when it just seems
I don't
you're
understand
incapable?
how bored you could be that you would hope for that to happen, right?
I mean, what kind of idiot would define good as that which ought to be done?
Now he's talking again.
All right, well, I got to go eat dinner with my family. So, Tom, I don't know if Tom dropped out, right? So I guess I'll just mod like Jane or something. Um, and then I'll take off and let's see who else is here. Ben is here. I'll just mod him, and then I'm gonna take off. But yeah, good talking to everybody. See you guys.
Better.
Yeah, it's laughable to define good as that which ought to be done.
Yeah, you're just trolling. Like, why? Who cares what you say? You're just a troll.
Who cares what you
Every time
say?
you're asked to explain anything, that's more trolling. Anytime you're asked to explain something, you just troll. I just don't get it. Why do you keep opening your
You
mouth?
either want to listen to the... Why do you even bother asking me then? If you're going to cut me off,
I'm not asking
then
you.
don't.
Yeah, I'm asking you why you keep opening your fucking
Oh,
mouth.
you're
Like,
not
what's the
asking me,
point?
now you're asking me.
Why do you keep opening your mouth, right?
Why do you ask?
What difference does it make why?
Exactly. What difference does it make if I do open my mouth?
You're wasting people's time. I don't
You're
understand why
wasting
it's
my
being
time.
tolerated.
You're wasting our
Who
time.
cares if we're wasting your time?
You can snivel somewhere else, Jack. No one invited you to
I don't know
snivel.
what you mean by sniveling. I'm complaining, right, that you're
Sniveling is
being allowed
complaining.
to waste people's time. I'm trying to get an answer to
Oh,
that
you
question.
came here to tell everyone else that
Why
I'm
do you keep
wasting
talking?
everyone's time.
Why are you talking to me? I don't get it.
Why are you even here? I know why I'm here. This
So
room has my name
can
on it.
somebody explain it
Why
to
are
me?
you here?
Like, what's the
John, I don't
point of
remember.
this?
What's your
Listen, this room
definition of
has my
good?
name on it. Why are you here?
John, I don't remember. What's your definition of good if it's not what ought to be done?
Yeah,
What is your definition?
it's consistent with God's nature.
Okay.
Yeah, but you saw me ask him a question, right? Does
Do you want to
consistent with
complain some
God's
more now?
shut up. Is it you saw me ask him, does consistent with God's nature mean um, doing what God does, right? And he denied that, right? So, do you understand what it means to say consistent with God's nature? If it doesn't mean doing what God does? Does anybody understand that?
I mean, I think that's what it would mean, right? If God's the standard of good and He acts a certain way, and we could possibly act to some degree
And we can't.
consistently with
That's what
that,
the thing.
And
We
then
have
that
to
would
now
be
live
he's
with
good.
that
saying we
alone.
can't act
No,
the way that he does.
Jack. Squishy actually brought up a really good point. So if he's saying that good means consistent with God's nature, John's air quotes defeater to the problem of evil is that God is not all good. Do you see the
I
problem?
never said that.
You think God's all good?
I said God is good.
Is God all good?
What does that even mean?
That everything he does is good.
Can complete.
Yes, everything that God does is good. Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay, but you also think that God is evil at times, right?
No, how could God be evil if everything that God does is good? Where do you get that notion from?
Well,
That's
he hates
laughable.
some people.
If
I don't
everything that
understand.
God does is good, where do you get the notion that God is evil?
Wait, but Tom, does everything that God does is good mean anything different that everything God does is what God does?
No.
Yeah, it's a tautology.
Yeah, but
It's a
then
cosmology.
how is it to say that man is not good is not to say that man doesn't do what God does?
Yeah, man doesn't do
No,
what
I'm
God
not
does.
talking to you. I'm asking Tom. How does it mean that? How does it not mean that?
Sorry, repeat that.
So look, he's saying God is what he's saying. Everything God does is good, and you're agreeing that that means, on his semantics, that everything that God does is what God does, right?
Right.
It's tautology.
Right.
But if that's the case, then how is it that to say that man is not good is not to say that man doesn't do what God does? Which he's denying is what he's saying.
No, man does not do what.
Right. That's what that's what Jack just said.
Yeah, that's why I'm
And
just saying
therefore man is not
it's
good.
that's why it's just trolling.
Man is not good. Where you
Do
get
you see what I'm getting at? How could it not be trolling?
It's not good.
He's not trolling. He's just like he's been doing this for like 20 years, and he's like
He's a mis.
he's even got like a he's weird, Jack. You just gotta understand. He's even got like a he wrote himself his own manifesto where he never says the word ought or should,
For
and like he's got
sure.
all these weird rules. He's just a weirdo. That's all.
What's
I'm more
so
than
you're just
willing to
saying?
talk about
But
justification of sin.
well, I'm not sure how that's really like I'm not sure exactly what the hypothesis is there. I mean, I don't doubt that what you're saying is more accurate than what I'm saying. I'll take your word for it, but I'm still trying to understand what it is exactly you're saying, right?
Listen, Jack,
Because
I'd love to give you the gospel of Jesus
presumably
Christ about
there's
sin and
something. See, like, what is
justification.
he doing right now, where he just talks while I'm talking, right? See, because the way I interpret John is that I interpret what he does as a form of aggression, right?
Yeah.
It's not really that different from what EF does,
Right.
right? He's just, this is his way of kind of lashing out. I don't really understand the psychic underpinnings of it. Like in Darth's case, I think it's clear that it has to do with personal failure, right? He had expectations to do better, to be a more successful person, right, than he is, right? He's just a guy who basically lives in his mother's basement, which he makes fun of other people for doing,
Oh, wow.
right? He's gone bankrupt, right? His wife divorced him. His kids, 4 out of his 5 kids don't talk to him, right? He's, by his own lights, a failure, right? But he doesn't take responsibility for that. He blames others. And so his way of kind of lashing out for that is somehow, I don't really understand this, somehow it's atheists and liberals, right, who are responsible for the fact that he has a shitty life, right? And so this is his way of getting back at them, right? But is that what's going on in John Lee's case? I don't know where the
No.
aggression is. I don't know where the aggression is coming from. But see, I interpret him like when he overtalks me that way. I just take it. This is a form of aggression, right?
Well, Jack, I mean, you're the one that overtalks me. You ask me a question. As soon as I start talking, you overtalk me. And then you say, why is he
So
interrupting
I
me
don't
when you're the
understand
one interrupting
why are
me?
you
Just
talking
like right
when
now.
I asked
Just
Tom a
like right
question.
now. You act like you're
I
not interrupting
asked
me,
Tom
but
a
you are.
question,
Why are
and
you
you're
overtalking
somehow
me?
talking.
Why,
Like, what
why,
is this
why is
about?
Jack overtalking me?
Yeah, see, like this
I let
too
him
is like
bloviate for
aggression,
about
right?
3 minutes there.
John, he asked Tom a question. Let Tommy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I don't
really?
know
Is
what
that
it
what
counts
happened,
for.
Jimmy? Come on.
All right, but in any case, I just take it that when you ask him a straightforward question, like, by when you say man is not good, do you mean, right, that means that man doesn't do what God does, right? And he says, no, that's not what I mean, right?
What
But
do you
then when you
mean that's
ask
not what
him,
I mean?
now you guys all heard, see, now this is interesting, right? You guys all heard me ask him before, when you say man is not good, does that mean that they don't do what God does? And he said no, right? You guys heard that, right?
No.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you should
here
go
we
back.
go.
I don't know if you have
Let's check the
replays
replays.
Okay, is
on
this
or
gonna
it's
be one
been
of those?
recorded.
Yeah, the
Is this
replays are
gonna be
on.
one of those recordings? I didn't say that, and then when he says he didn't say that, he means he didn't mean that.
But what he means by said
Yeah.
was said.
And so like
Doesn't mean
Check the replay.
right, when that starts to happen, I just take it that's just more trolling, right? I mean, do you disagree?
No, it's true to say that there is an enormous hatred he harbors
Yes, this is
for
this is
atheists.
just all aggression, right? He has
Wait,
some
What?
I just
aggression towards
Oh,
atheists.
the
wait. I want to
irony
see
of
if I
that
can.
statement.
Wait, I want to see if I can accomplish something real quick. John Lee, say that you never said that. just for posterity, just for Tom Rabbit,
No,
so
no,
we
no,
can
no.
get
You
it
have to
all.
specify utterance or
Oh,
meant.
yeah. Did you ever utter no in response to Jack's question? That's what
Yeah, no one is good but God alone.
I'm not.
See,
I
this is just
asked you.
more
That's
trolling.
that's
It's
just
just
another.
more trolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
See.
but John Lee, but utter the. I just want to hear you. Did you ever utter the word no in response to Jack's question?
Yeah, there's none that do good, according
No,
to
I'm not
Scripture.
asking that. I'm asking. Say the words. I uttered the phrase blank when Jack asked me that question.
He's just such a boring person to go after.
Hold on
Yeah,
a sec.
exactly,
I
Doc.
want to get him to do it. Come on, John. Be a good sport.
No, it's the
Did you utter it or
aggression.
not? Did you utter it or not, John? Look at boy, oh boy! Look at this man.
Yeah, he's got a real problem with Josh, which I have to admit
I do.
fascinates
You're
me.
right. You're right, Jack.
That like why is it that Josh somehow pushes his
Because
buttons?
Josh just goes straight to the bone, and he knows it. That's why.
It's like a
Well,
little
that's
barking
also the case
chihuahua that
with
you just
me,
kick.
though. That he doesn't have that much disdain. He has more disdain for Josh. I wonder why. He's
No,
never
I don't think it's
explicated.
disdain.
Well, disdain, I used the word for converse earlier. That's where I would accurately put it.
John has that disease that sort of like concrete has, where they're afraid to put any pieces on the board because that's seen as a possible commitment that could become troublesome in the future in
Right.
the dialogue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
Darth
he just
Dawkins does
plays.
that too.
the level of
He plays the game,
psychoanalysis
and
is
he.
laughable here.
No, this is absolutely true. This is not even just like this is just like demonstrable, right? Like it's look. You won't even affirm what you said right now with Josh. That's
Listen,
just the same thing. You're
listen, John
Yeah,
Lee.
demonstrating it
because
right
I don't give
now.
him the time of day. You want to put entailments
You
in it?
can call it
Listen,
whatever you want, but the you can call it whatever you want, but what you're doing is keeping your finger on the chess piece, so it's not an official move. That's what
Okay,
you're doing.
whatever you want to fantasize about, sure.
It's not a fantasy. If not, just confirm it. Confirm what you say, what you do, is what you mean.
I know what my position
Exactly.
is.
Exactly.
God is
Keep your
good.
finger on the
he's a
chessboard
There is
fucking
then,
none
troll.
and
that
not
do
play the
He's
game.
good,
trolling.
right? There is none that do good. God is good. Okay? These are biblical statements. Take it for what you will.
Yeah, and when you say there's none that do good, you're saying men don't do good. They aren't good.
Right. And did somebody say I
Right, that's what you're
denied that
denying.
statement?
Hold on, someone posted his apology letter where he admits to harboring hatred for atheists.
Oh, you mean a letter from a long time ago?
Is it no longer accurate?
Yeah, I think I've learned to love atheists, believe it or not.
Yeah, but you also thought that before, and you didn't even realize that you were lying through your teeth, right?
Yeah, I was a regular Darth Dawkins on chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but Darth
what makes
Dawkins
you think that you're
actually
immune to that now?
respectable.
What makes you think you're immune to that now?
I'm not claiming to be immune to it. I'm just saying that I've since repented of it. Does it creep up every once in a while? Yes. I acknowledge that all the time. I'm not a perfect human being, okay?
Yeah, but what you think you've gotten over, you could just be once again lying through your
I didn't
teeth.
say that I got over it, okay?
By not
You
perfect,
said
you
you
just
used
mean
to
that
be
you
like
don't
Darth
do what
Dawkins.
God does.
I can say this that I'm no longer the level of a person I was back then when I wrote it.
Yeah, but you're equally boring, right?
Possibly,
And equally vague.
if you think so.
and equally
You are
inept.
purposely vague and allergic to clarification because you're afraid of how it will hurt you further along in the dialogue. That is a fact.
Well, I mean, if you think I have fear or something, that hey, that's
And equally obtuse.
you're entitled to that. Yeah, obtuse, obstinate, stubborn, whatever you want to, whatever
And
things you want
equally
to focus on the
incoherent.
meta. If
And
you want to
equally
just go all
incoherent.
meta, I mean, this is what this room is for, is it not? Jack can pile on that
No,
meta bandwagon.
you're incoherent. It's in what you say is incoherent
Yeah, bring on
for
the
the most part.
bring on the meta.
But I I have trouble understanding a single sentence that you utter.
Yeah, I mean, is that a confession of ineptitude?
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, John, did you ever utter no in response to Jack's question? I love this man. Look at him.
Yeah, take a good look.
Did
You
you
might
ever
see
utter
you
no?
might see
You
yourself.
might see yourself.
John, did you ever utter no in response to Jack's question?
To be honest, I don't know.
Did you ever utter anything like no?
What part of I don't know are you not understanding?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
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 see,
I do know what my position is right now,
what
right?
explains that you first denied it, but now you've switched to I don't know. What changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see myself having said that. I still don't, to be honest. But just because I have a propositional attitude does not necessitate that I know what I said.
No, my question was, see, you just avoided the question again. Question is, you had at T1 this position, this propositional attitude, and at T2 that's changed. And I said, what accounts for the change?
There's no change in propositional attitude.
You
But
said you
he's
don't know, and that you
What?
you're now saying that you don't know what you said, but originally you said I didn't say that.
I don't recall saying that, no.
Oh my God.
Wait, you don't recall saying no, or you don't
Okay,
recall
but now
saying
here's where I have to admit I'm at a loss. Is he lying now, or is he just not? Is he just like
I
unable to
I
understand?
think he actually is some kind of like
Could have
perpetual
been
level of self-delusion that
Could have
he's
been,
in.
Jack, that I didn't
Yeah.
understand your question the first time, and if I answered negatively to the
Yeah, but
question I misunderstood.
This is changing the subject. What we're
I'm not
concerned
even
about,
acknowledging that I said that. What I
yeah,
do
what
know,
we're concerned about is
is
that
my
you
position
denying that
that
you
there's
said
none
that,
that
and
do good, and that God is good.
now saying that you don't know whether you said it or not. That's
Now
what we're
my
talking about
position's
right now,
clear. There's none
right?
that do
And it was literally
good,
just like
and
5
that
minutes
God is
ago
good. Why
he
is that
said I
wrong?
never said that, right?
I mean,
Jack, I think it's like he
unbelievable.
has a defense mechanism, which is like he
Are you guys
has
really
this
looking
way
for
of like
just like petty gotchas? Is that what you're looking for?
You
he
know,
like
that's a
I think
trolling.
there's some sort of like defensive like permanent mental aura of self-delusion which is designed to like protect his mental state at all times.
Yeah,
Now
cool.
that
Cool
seems
story.
like something, well, I wouldn't want to say almost without parallel, because I suppose there's going to be maybe somebody like Sugar is Poison. I mean, we've had people like this before, right?
So you
That
came here to
that do that.
speculate on this, Jack. Is that what you're saying? You're just wasting everyone's time on your
Oh, wasting
speculations
time is pretty interesting.
of your
Because
unqualified
you have to admit,
assessments.
like psychologically, it's kind of,
You're not a qualified. You're
doesn't
not
it
even
seem like
qualified to even
doesn't it
question that.
seem like very alien to your, like,
Oh, he's like one of a kind. I've never met someone like
yeah,
him.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, we're all unique.
So now he wants to just try to distill the criticism down to a point where it applies to everyone in an attempt to parry the criticism, but no one buys it.
I mean, listen. I'm used to hyper focus, right? If you guys want to hyper focus on me, go, hey, go to
But
it.
now, see,
Create a
like this
room.
part, this is something I have.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
This
Just
is something.
create an
This is
echo
something I have
chamber.
difficulty
Pretend you
understanding,
know about people's mental
right?
states, behavioral
Because
motivation.
does he
Pretend you're
think?
qualified psychologist.
Does he think that anybody buys it like this kind of thing? Like, who does he think is buying it?
He couldn't
Well, I don't
think
buy
anyone's
Well,
you.
buying it.
If Matt
I don't
Adams
buy
were
the.
here, he would think that Matt Adams is buying it.
Maybe, yeah, but let's say Matt Adams is not here. Like, what does he think that he's doing?
Well, I don't buy the
It's
Kool-Aid
hard
you're
for me to
selling.
understand it.
You actually
Like, what's
think
the
that
point of
Like,
the
is there
process?
one?
you actually think
Like, in
that
other words,
I'm
is there
qualified as
one
a Jack
person?
Angstreich thug?
Is there one person listening to this who's taking him at his word, right? That he's like
No,
not trolling and whatever.
absolutely not.
Well, I think you're
Yeah.
trolling
So,
if you
like,
ask
what
me.
what is he accomplishing?
I think you're trolling if you
By
ask
his
me.
own lights, I mean. What is he accomplishing? You know what I mean?
He has a compulsion to engage in these sorts of
Yeah, he can't help
Right.
but
Yeah,
do that.
I do
can't help
engage.
it.
Well, of course I
Yeah.
can help it, but I do engage in it. Sure.
We have to remember that he does this for 15 hours a day sometimes, and even,
Yeah,
um,
but that's something else
That's
I'd like
correct,
to
Daniel.
understand, right? Because in Darth Dawkins' case, as I say, I understand it. This is a person who's like bitter. He's deeply resentful about his lot.
I'm very content
And
with
so
my
he
life,
can't
Dan.
he can't do anything
I'm very
other
content.
than he can't do anything other than be on here 15 hours a day and lash out at people because humiliating a white belt is like the one thing he can do in his life where he's a big man,
Are you content, Dan?
right? So if that's not what's going on in John's case, what would explain why somebody
Do
would
you
do
have
that with their
peace?
what would explain why somebody would do that with their time,
Do you have joy,
right?
love in your heart, Jack?
Do you have any speculations about that?
Yeah, I do. From the heart, the mouth speaks.
I'm not talking to you. Do you guys have any idea what could account for that? It's very hard for me to understand that. I can understand Darth very well, you know. I can even relate to it,
Well, I've had some
you know.
ideas. I've had some ideas, but I mean, I don't really want to like speculate too much about his personal situation or whatever.
yeah,
But
But what about anybody who's like this?
the only thing I've said really is that it seems to be like a lot of his little quirks and like John Lee's like rules are centered around eliminating metrics of failure. So, for example, he's been doing like these like pseudo apologetics for like 20 years online, and he's like basically got no souls saved to show for it. So what does he do? Oh, well, I can't actually save anyone. Only God can. It's about eliminating a metric of failure, right?
That's correct. Only
Um,
God can save.
Right. So he likes to say that. He says things like, "Oh, I never tell people what they should do. I never tell people what they ought to do." Because if he were doing that, there would be a metric of failure, right? If they don't do it, he's failed. So he doesn't. It seems like, and there's more of these things, but everything seems to revolve around eliminating any kind of metric of failure.
But
So
right.
that
I don't know.
now let's just be psychoanalytical for a moment, right? Because at first blush, right, if that's the kind of thing that's being observed, right, the natural inference is that there's an anxiety there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
what's the fear? Like, what,
Oh,
what,
really?
what, what? In Darth
Very
Dawkins'
good
case, it's
question.
very
What is the
clear
fear,
it's
Jack?
very clear what he's afraid of, right? He's afraid of further humiliation,
You think I'm afraid of
right?
you? Are you kidding me?
But I don't know. It just doesn't strike me that John, or Concrete for that matter, right? Concrete is afraid of humiliation, right? It's very, very clear that he goes into this
Yeah,
defensive
I'm not
mode,
afraid of humiliation.
right?
My
And
room
that
is
that
called
that
Fools
seems
or
almost
Christ.
certainly connected to fear of humiliation, right?
My room is called
But do you
Fools or
think that's
Christ,
what's
Jack.
going on in John's case?
He's eliminated the metric of humiliation. There is. It doesn't
No,
exist. It's
I'm saying no, but you're not understanding. I'm saying if he has this compulsion or commitment, whatever it is, to eliminate metrics whereby he could be judged to have failed, that suggests that there's an anxiety, right? That if there were
Yeah,
such
well, he's just
metrics,
a hard. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know like to what extent it applies, but I'm of the opinion that like it at the very least, if not mostly, applies to like this internet debate bro bullshit.
yeah, like you're saying it's not true in his private life.
Mm, I'm
I've
agnostic
I've
on that. I think it bleeds through from some of the stories he's told,
I've
but
learned that my private life mirrors my online life, and so there's no disconnect.
But I don't understand what are you getting at with this internet debate thing if you aren't saying that it's confined to this arena.
I'm not
I'm
big
just not
on
sure I
debating.
understand what your point was.
I mean, you won't see me like you guys trying to argue the existence of God or the lack thereof.
Listen to him.
But
Listen to him clean his own up.
do you have an interpretation, Josh?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you're asking
'Cause-
a like very broad psychological question, right? 'Cause the reason I don't get it is because it just seems like it's sort of a common phenomenon where people don't want to feel humiliated.
yeah, but do you think that's what's going on in his case? Because it's clear in EF's and Concrete's case, right?
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
yeah, I do think that's what's going on.
So you think he just is worried he's going to be humiliated,
Yeah, that's why he
made
doesn't
to
want
look
to
like
commit.
an?
That's why he blocked Tom. He blocked Tom because Tom kept playing a very humiliating recording.
Oh,
Okay, but like
really?
when?
right.
Try Daniel's recording. It was like 10 times worse.
And so the thing about recordings, which is consistent with my theory, is that like when it's a matter of you uttered this or you didn't utter this, guess what? Guess what exists in that instance? A demonstrable metric of failure. That's why he
Right.
fucking hates it so much.
Okay, but maybe my question then ought to be, what does humiliation look like for John Lee? Right? Because you
That's
can
a good
imagine in
question.
Dart's case, it's very easy to imagine what it looks like, right? Like that he's, you know,
He just kill screens. He can't stop over talking and you
yeah,
can't shut him up.
exactly. Yeah, he'll like spend days trying to downplay what happened to him, right? Just going over it again and again and again and finding like some way of
Yeah,
like turning it into a victory, through some
John Lee
bizarre
said he listened
spin.
to that recording enough time. He said, I listened to it so many
One
times
and a
I would
half
go to
times.
trial over it.
Daniel listened to it more than I did. So that's a
Yeah, okay,
misrepresentation.
sure, buddy, sure.
I think John actually revels in some humiliation. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that John actually sees himself almost as like a martyr sometimes if he does. Well, like he thinks that you can't persuade anybody. He thinks there is no persuasion.
That's correct.
Yeah, he
But as
cannot
far as
persuade.
Oh,
martyr,
You can't
another
persuade a
another
person.
thing, another thing, John, or sorry, Jack, to add to my theory, he claims that he refuses to give arguments and he prides himself on never giving any argument. Guess why I think he doesn't do that, Jack?
arguments for the existence of God, because the reason is because who cares if an atheist becomes a theist? They're still going to go to hell.
Well, that's why Darth doesn't give arguments too, right?
Yeah, if you never give an argument, can you fail at your argument, Jack?
Right. No, that's true.
He also says that he doesn't debate, and realistic nihilist has picked up on this one. Jack, if you're just having a discussion and it's not a debate, but you're just talking, is there a metric of failure there?
Right.
So the hypothesis is such that I prevent failure in my actions. Is that what
Okay,
you're
but now
saying?
here's an interesting question,
Like
right?
hitting me?
Does he understand that he's being exposed right now?
No.
So he doesn't understand. So he's
Wait,
not actually being
why would you say
humiliated.
no? Because why would you say no?
I would
Because
say you guys are being exposed. Are you
when
kidding
he
me?
runs this interference and he does this like nonstop talking and he won't let you get a word in,
But he
that's
does
like
that all the time, though, doesn't he?
I find that an interesting statement. You guys are being
He's always
exposed right
losing though, so it
now.
doesn't matter.
You should see all the back messages I get when you guys are completely exposed and not even realize.
share them.
Mm.
So you and Tom disagree
Appeal to
about
secret
this.
emails.
The funny thing is, John, I mean, like, I don't really, I'm not bothered by failure to this extent, and I'd probably say that you're, much more successful than I am. So, I just I don't understand. It's hard for me to wrap my head around, like this, like creating your own manifesto and like
I don't
these
call it a
special
manifesto.
rules that
That's
which you, and
no,
then
it's a
like just
false
all
characterization.
avoid, like it's just crazy to me.
It's a false characterization when you start saying it. When you start embellishing the way you do, I mean, you just expose yourself as a liar you are.
I thought it was a codified set of rules,
And that's
and they were
manifesto.
even like
Do you even know what a
they were like
manifesto
numbered.
is?
Yeah, it's kind of like a mission statement.
Well, I do kind of have a theory, John D. Well, because a lot of John's language just sounds a lot like Scythian Bruggencase language. And it's a lot of like, look, I can't change your mind. If you're, God will change you one day. And if you're, part of the elect and look, it's, you can't, like, he didn't think he could do any persuasion and like a lot of the same type of language I get.
Converse. Skyten's a
You agree with that?
presuppositional apologist. I'm not that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I get some of the same, like, a sense that you guys agree on a lot of those different types of things.
Well,
But
yeah, naturally that we as Christians believe in the power of the Holy Spirit and things like that, and the inability for us to convince others. It's not by our own mental faculties and reasoning that we arrive at faith. Faith is a gift of God, and Saitan, irrespective of whether he's an apologist or not, we agree on those things.
yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with part of what you said, right? But, Jack, what do you guys think about this? Like, you can't persuade people, language.
Oh no! It's a much stronger claim than that, Jack. John Lee's position is that no one has ever been convinced to become a Christian via a logical argument.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like absolutely absurd.
Yeah, only the
He probably
hipsters
wants to
argue.
not. He's probably motivated to think that because if it were the case that people could be convinced of logical arguments, then that's just like it. Just the next question is, okay, if that's the case, then why aren't you giving logical arguments? But he doesn't want to give logical arguments because he can give an argument and then not be converted, and then he's failed. So it just has to be the case that logical arguments can't convert people.
Yeah, the arguments that do convince people, if you even want to call it an argument, is that you are a sinner, right? And you can't do anything to wipe away the stench of your sin and the burden of that sin. And it is Christ who died, and for your faith in that, that he serves as a propitiation for your sin, that convinces more than anything, any cosmological, ontological, or teleological argument there is.
Just making random unsubstantiated claims convinces people more than anything.
Yes, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by what? The word of God.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you don't really talk about the gospel that much, do you?
I disagree.
And the only reason you probably do it is because you've probably recently heard a criticism about you not giving the gospel.
I gave it earlier today when we're talking about the problem of evil and God being
Yeah, I heard you,
omnipotent, and you want to cut me off, go right ahead.
yeah, I heard you say that you gave it today, and that's something that's uncommon. it's so uncommon. Then you bring it up. It's like, hey, no, look at me. Look at me. I'm not a debate bro. Look at me. I'm not a debate bro. I talked about God this morning. I talked about the gospel once.
Yeah, I'm not
Dawkins
living
says the
up to
same thing.
your expectations of some sort of count on a daily basis. I don't live for that. I don't live to meet your expectations, your rational expectations of others.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of preaching the gospel every day, I'm sure what you ought to be doing, John, is like posting memes and stuff on Facebook to atheists, right?
Yeah, my memes are very powerful, if I don't say so myself.
Well, what you said yourself was that the most powerful is the gospel. So anytime you chose a meme over the gospel, you were choosing willingly a less effective means.
Two different prospects. Okay, one is about salvation. The other is about just eviscerating certain double standards and arguments that atheists pose. Those are two different propositions.
The idiom
Okay,
is
well, in that case, you're just prioritizing evisceration over somebody's like everlasting, eternal damnation. It's even worse.
That's what you're mischaracterizing as. Go right ahead. You know you like to do those things. Just simply mischaracterize. Look at the titles of your videos. Come on.
uh, the idiom, John, is if I do say so myself, not if I don't say so myself. That's a silly thing to say. So, in keeping with that metrics of failure, he failed in that very common idiom there, Tom. Now, did you utter if I don't say so myself, John? Just for the record.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I was talking about utterance in that particular series.
Did you utter the words if I don't say so myself?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. We got him to commit to one, boy.
Well, that's also in keeping with the point I was making about the older John. Sometimes seems like there's older people who mix up two different like sayings together in one. It's pretty close, at least. But John, look, the reason why, like, I might even agree with you on a lot of things. Like, I'm not sure because I don't know how much we actually agree on. But,
Why would it
um,
matter if you
but
agree or not? I mean, what's the
well, I
necessity to
didn't say it
preface?
mattered, did I? But whenever I agree with somebody disagreeing with you, you act like it's something that I should not do. But then when I ask you, you're like, well, no, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it because I don't use should language.
So
And it's
now
like, then why do you keep doing that?
I'm acting like you should, but I don't say should. Is that the accusation?
Well, I'm saying that's what it seems like. Say that
It
I'm
seems like to
always
you.
doing
Not
these.
everything that seems is the case.
Whenever you say you're always agreeing with them over me and blah blah blah. Well, what are you saying if you're not saying I should not do that? Like, what are you
Yeah, I
saying?
mean, I don't know about this or that converse, but I mean, I know if you ask around about me in a sense that you know, have expectations of other people, um, yeah, maybe a little bit once in a while, but I mean, it's super minimum. I know that because I do know, having been through recovery, having certain expectations of others, right, leads to a lower level of personal peace. And I know that oftentimes when I do lack that peace, it is because of expectations. But generally, I'm okay.
So this is that thing. If you don't have expectations, nobody can hurt you. This was in Spider-Man. This was in the last Spider-Man movie, right? The female character was like, look, if you have no expectations, then they can't hurt you, right?
I don't know
So,
about
but
that.
then you just admitted that you're using odd language with me, right? Sometimes,
Well, I don't know
which
about
you
the
said you.
hurt you or whatever. I don't know where that came from, but my understanding through the recovery, right? You know, I'm a person of recovery, substance abuse, right? And what we have is, you know, with regard to personal serenity, and when we have expectations of others, right? People, places, and things, we lack that personal serenity, right?
This
And
is exactly what I
that's all
was
I'm
talking
talking
about,
about.
right? So if you never make an ought statement, if you never tell another person you ought do this, you should do this, then you can never fail in making a prescription.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're
I
talking
made a
about, to be
prescription.
honest.
I made a prescription and they didn't go with it. They didn't do it. Well, guess what? I never do that, so I can't
Yeah,
fail.
I mean, I don't know about your hypothesis of failure, never fail, whatever. I don't. Listen. I trip up all the time. I make foolish things. I contradict. I mean, of all these things. I mean, why would I try to guard against that? I don't mind failure. I mean, I don't understand what you're even trying to imply. I don't mind
Oh,
failure,
come
Tom.
on. I've laid this out so clearly. Everyone in this room understands the hypothesis.
I understand what you're claiming. It's vacuous.
It's not vacuous. In fact, I can make novel predictions with the theory.
Go for it.
So yeah, when you use language, it's going to be language in which it doesn't have a metric that we can ascertain whether or not you failed, right? And when we come across the instances where we can analyze, for example, recordings of you saying this or not saying this, you're going to get really, really, really fucking aggravated by it. And that has been shown to be true.
Yeah.
And so the next time that happens, we'll see it happen again.
Are we resorting back to my misspeaking? Is that what we're going back to, Tom?
That's an example. You asked me to give an example, right?
So it wasn't so you're taking back your acknowledgement that you misunderstood. Is that where we're at?
What makes you think that?
Yeah, never mind then, Tom. I'm not going to pursue it.
Yeah, John. I just imagine that you probably disagree with me on some points of doctrine and so forth. And
Not that I know
I've just, well, I mean, not that I know of so
of,
far,
other
but
than
I mean, there
Molinism,
may
maybe.
be, that's not even like, because look, you reject middle knowledge, right? But it's not a philosophical ground, which, like, I can understand a philosophical objection because I've heard some, but like yours isn't based on that, right? It's based on, you think it's based on scripture, but the scripture that I gave you that seemed to imply it, you didn't ever really give me a
I
response. You just said,
I
I'll think
honestly
about that.
don't know why you always focus on our agreement or lack thereof. I really don't know.
Well, what I was going to say before you interrupted and brought that up was that, look, the only reason why I would, correct you on certain things is because um, it seems like sometimes the way you represent Christianity is like this view where it's like, well, who cares if you're being irrational, right? You can't change your view by being persuaded. You can't, no rational argument. It's basically like saying people aren't rational agents. And so, but I just find all the things that, all the language used, like when people don't change their minds about something in the Bible, all the language used is like, look, you guys should change your mind. Like Deuteronomy 30 I always bring up, right? Like it's not up in heaven that you should say, who will bring it to us that we could know it or follow it. It's not across the sea that you need somebody across there to bring it to you. It's really close to your heart. It's in your mouth and in your heart. You can do this, right? But then they don't. But stuff like that, that's why I say the only reason why I correct you at all is because when I see you representing Christianity as a certain way, it seems a little, I don't want people listening in to think, well, look, Christianity is just ridiculous. He just admits it's irrational, right? I at
Yeah.
least want to give
Well,
another point of view.
here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, there's one thing to express what you view, but at the expense of someone else. I mean, I'll give you an example. I know Chrissy. She frankly doesn't like Calvinists or Calvinism, I should say. And so when she espouses things like Jesus died for everyone and God loves everyone and he wants everyone to come to saving knowledge and all of these things, well, she doesn't need an argument from me, right? But if she attacks me as well, I mean, she's entitled to do that. But I guess my point is that,
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man.
I get messages all the time, like Silver Star, right? If you ever notice, I don't even know if he's showing up today, but he'll put certain messages and things like that. I mean, fine, right? I don't feel a need to try to claim that somebody's not representing Christianity in the way that I think they ought, right? I mean, there are Unitarians, Binitarians, they're modalists, they're Molinists, right? And so Universalists, and so if that's the case, why would I need to get into this long drawn out argument, especially in front of the godless?
Yeah, but that obviously doesn't matter to you because today, when I asked you simply, could I ask you a question as a Christian? You just said, no, I'd rather these people, really
That's
press
correct.
you on your view.
That's correct.
So it's not about the being in
I'm
front of
still
the godless
waiting, by the
thing.
way. Yeah, I'm still
It's
waiting.
not about being in front of the.
Still waiting for what? Someone to press converse on his view?
Well, either that or share his view without being provoked to. I mean, if somebody has a belief in their heart, you'd think they'd want to share it. If they have the gospel of Christ, you'd think they'd really want to share it as commissioned by God. But I mean, if someone wants to take to sit there with the green bean and be in judgment of other theists and questioning other theists, well, he's entitled to that as well.
Yeah, so your whole thing about, look, especially when you do it in front of the godless, well, that obviously you don't care about that, right? Because when I asked you, could I just ask you a question? Your response was that you wanted the godless to press me on my positions, right? You
This
care
is
about.
why I call it bullshit when you tell me you're a straight shooter, because it's obvious, like,
I
where
don't
you
use the
come,
word straight
right?
shooter, by the way.
Well, you don't say that, but that's what you mean,
Oh, it's always what I mean,
right?
right? Yeah.
Right, so you do say it, right?
No, I do not.
You said
No, I'm a
that
flawed
you're a straight
creature.
shooter.
No,
And by said,
no,
you
I have
mean
my
what
own
you meant,
standards that
right?
I
That's what
fail
you mean
all
when
the
people
time.
say said, is the meaning, right?
No, I have standards for myself that
Oh,
I
wait a
fail all
minute.
the
Are you
time,
saying I never uttered the word straight shooter?
nor implied the meaning.
Oh, you're talking about utterances. I thought you didn't do that. Oh, my bad.
Actually,
Okay.
both.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
both.
Gotcha. Oh, wow.
What
Oh,
does
I did not
interesting.
imply to mean that
Interesting.
whatsoever either.
Gotcha.
what does straight shooter mean to you, John Lee?
What does it mean to
Even though you,
me?
yeah,
JJ has entered the arena.
Wow, such a
you
hard
thinking, John Lee?
question that is, huh?
No,
You
it's not.
thinking?
It's not a hard question.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide whether I should answer or not, to be honest.
Uh,
What did you say? You're trying to decide whether you should answer the question? Is that what you said, John? John, did you say whether or not I should answer the question, John? Is that what you said?
That's what I
Did I
said.
Sounds,
mishear you, John?
No, he didn't.
Did I
sounds like
mishear you,
normative
John?
language.
well, that's what he uttered. Who knows what the fuck he meant?
No, but should equals in non-normative language, should will equal he will or will not answer the question.
No, I used the proper word. I don't know why there's such a problem.
Because earlier you
Because you
said
don't
you
talk
never
about
used the word
should.
should.
There's a context to I don't tell other people what they should, ought, or need to do. There's no
You said you
contradiction in what I
you said
said.
you've trained yourself not to use the word should.
Yes, for others.
Oh yeah, just for others, right?
So you think you should do things?
Yeah, this is great. Now should is on the table for John Lynn. This is awesome.
It's always been on the table. I always use the word should for myself. What are you talking about?
Should you give the gospel, John?
You tell me.
What a piece of shit, man.
The correct response is I will or will not give the gospel.
No, that's not correct either, though, Pina.
So you were in the middle of deliberating whether or not you should answer.
That's correct.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
You think
Finish your
about it.
deliberation.
I haven't really decided yet. I'm still thinking.
You think about that. I'm going to make some pasta.
Yeah, thank you for the time. I will say initially I will lean toward no.
I don't even remember the question, Good someone. What was the question?
Why ought you not deliver the gospel?
Was that the question he was deliberating
I think you asked, should you deliver the gospel to people?
No, it has nothing to do with the gospel. My goodness.
I didn't think. What was it?
Whether I should or should not answer JJ's question was really what.
Yeah, what was the question? That's my question.
His question had to do with my definition of straight shooter.
Oh yeah. Well, you definitely shouldn't answer that one if you don't want to look stupid. Interesting how it seems to switch in between different definitions of said when it's convenient for him. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what different definitions you're even talking about.
One as an utterance and one as meaning.
Oh, so sometimes they're both apply. In this case, yeah.
Yeah, but you said when you say said, you mean meaning.
I said both.
Right. So when you said that Matt Dillahunty says God is guilty of existing, you meant that Matt Dillahunty meant that God is guilty of
I meant
existing?
neither.
What? Then why did you say he said it?
Because he did.
And
Wow.
when you
Do we
say
really need to
that
go
he
over this
says it,
again? Are you
you
serious?
mean he means it, right?
No.
So sometimes saying doesn't mean meaning?
Oh, so it certainly does.
So when you said that Matt Dillahunty said, you meant that he meant it.
No. I already said that 4 times to you already.
So you misspoke.
No. I mean, do we really
So when
want
you
to
said
rehash
that he
this again?
said it,
Seriously?
so when you said that he said it,
We're really going over this.
you meant that he didn't mean it?
We're going over this again. Are you serious? I'll tell you what. Why don't I just take a break and then you could think it over out loud.
I think we've already gone over it. It's just confusing as to what you mean. That's all. Because you've contradicted yourself so many times.
When you say it's confusing about what you mean what he said?
Yeah. Yeah, why he said what he said if he didn't mean what he meant. You know what I'm saying? Clear as mud, John Lee. Thank you.
Yeah, this is just truly hilarious.
So I haven't been here for this whole conversation. It's nice to see that John and Tom are back in the same room together. But I was here during that conversation when that happened, and I have to be honest. I think John made a mistake on accident. You know, when he was saying that when Matt was saying that God is guilty of existing, when he may have misheard what Matt said or misinterpreted it, or he may have misspoke.
No, we're not doing this.
Unbelievable.
We're not doing this. We're not.
Okay, all right, my bad. I was just trying to smooth things out, but I guess I was just trying to help John, but I guess I was wrong.
I don't even think.
You're trying to help me? Cool.
Well,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
you're actually wrong about that part. I think his misspeaking was later on.
Well, I mean, sometimes I say things and I say them in a way that I didn't mean to say them, and then when somebody calls me out on that, I'm like, that's not the way I said it.
How
And then I
charitable
have to go back and
of
listen to
you,
it. I'm
dude.
like, oh
Yeah.
crap, I did say it like that, but I didn't mean to say it like
Yeah, how so very pathetically charitable.
What did he say?
I said, how so very pathetically charitable.
What does
that.
that mean?
That was charitable. John, I don't know you, dude. I really don't. I was just trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
No, thank you for sharing.
Damn. Damn.
So if that's the way you did mean to say it, is there like a video or a link that you can provide where Matt actually says it like that?
Unbelievable.
No one was able to find it. I don't have anything invested in whether he said is it like that or doesn't. So to be
All right.
honest,
Well,
it's
I
kind
guess
of
I'll
like
drop.
something we're kind of trying to move.
Yeah. I'm getting a feeling right now. So we're good.
Other people did do the research though, and they found, I think, just conflicting things. But like Tom says, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'd just like to see John Lee, I don't know, be more honest. Maybe more honest with himself. I hate to
Maybe
think that.
I don't see when you say I'd like to see him be more honest. Do you mean
Honest.
at all? Right?
It seems that way sometimes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought you meant. I mean, that's what I thought you said.
You're very intuitive with intentions. John Lee, you're familiar with the serenity prayer, right?
Of course.
Do you know where that comes from?
Well, I imagine it comes from Bill Wilson.
I think Bill Wilson wrote that. Bill Dubs? You think
He
he
might
wrote
have
it?
adopted it, if anything.
God, JJ is just like a bioengineered like weapons. JJ is just like the spike protein that just like perfectly fits John Lee's cells, and
His anus.
he's just completely powerless against JJ.
I mean, most people are.
Oh. That's
Well, I guess if I were gonna like sort of elaborate on the analogy, is that like spike protein is not something that is like most people or anyone else has a vulnerability to, but like John.
Anyway, serenity prayer. I don't know who first formed the prayer. I'm pretty sure it has its origin in the Stoics, and probably specifically Epictetus.
I thought it was made by Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, it's popularized.
Squish, you know that train's burned through all that max win? Like, he burned through it all in like 4 days.
Jeez.
What?
My Facebook is now advertising FanDuel casino stuff to me, and it's tempting.
Algorithms got hit. No, not only
He
did he lose it
gambled
all,
away $22 million?
22.5.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
more than that. Yeah.
And not
Jeez.
only that, but after that, he said he's lost like 20 million in the last 4 days or something like that.
I would kill. So FanDuel, the app that he uses, has a tracker on how much you've bet, how much you've won, stuff like that. I would kill for a screenshot of that.
Oh, he's already said like around the time, like what, a couple of months ago, the amount bet was in the billions. I think it was like 3 billion.
It's like, you know how I got that warning when I bet like $800 in 30 minutes? He probably
Yeah.
gets that all the time. You bet 22 million in 4 hours. Do you want to keep?
The dude is just like, he's trying to get more money right now, so he just like can't stop himself.
It's those big wins that are just so tasty.
Yeah, you want to just
Uh,
like get it again. It's
Yeah, I was playing
possible.
Lobster Larry spins. I'm fucking addicted. I was getting like 100 and 200. They gave me another 100 to play with, by the way. FanDuel seems to do this like once a month.
Ick.
And when he's getting rinsed, like him and the other people, they'll like start talking about, oh, remember that Max win, and they'll just like reminiscing about it, and then they'll like give them more motivation to keep going.
So anyway, the Serenity Prayer goes back to 1932 in a diary by Reinhold Niebuhr.
John, do you gamble at all?
I have many times, sure.
I gamble with my
He used to be a big
sanity every
no limit
single time I come
hold'em
in the
player.
room.
Yeah, I had a slight blackjack addiction back in the
If
90s.
you'll notice my lanyard and my photo, that's from a casino.
I can't fucking see that from here. That's awesome. So are you like? I was about to
what
ask.
stakes did you play?
Yeah, what's your flavor?
Probably playing like 3-5 or something like that.
All roulette. John's throwing fucking roulette. All.
What did I
2-3,
play?
3-5, something like.
I mean, when it comes
John?
to table games, I like craps, but
No, I'm talking about poker. What were the blinds?
yeah, I mean Texas Hold'em,
Texas
Yeah,
Hold'em isn't
poker.
a blind,
5-card
you dumb
stud,
fuck.
He doesn't know.
5-card
He
draw,
wasn't a big
Omaha,
gambler, Tom. I don't
crazy
think he was.
pineapple.
Dude, are you
Yeah,
listening
he
to
wasn't
me?
a big gambler. He doesn't know what you're.
I go into a casino and I say, I want to play Hold'em. They're going to say, okay. You want to play 1-2? You want to play 1-3? We have a 3-5 table. Those represents the blinds, and it's an indicative of how big the game is, how much money you need, right?
Yeah, ante and shit.
You
The blinds are
you don't
5100,
actually
and I
think I
sit
don't
down with.
know that, do you, Tom?
Yeah, that's what the ante is.
I'm asking you what blinds, what stakes you played at, and then you answered Hold'em, Pineapple, and like other various games.
You want to know
So
what
yeah, I'm
limits
starting
I
to.
played? I'll tell you.
You want to know what blinds you
I'm not a
played?
no limit player. I'm a limit player, and I used to play
Oh
40 limit.
You're a limit player? Oh my god, disgusting.
I'm old school, man. I will play tournaments, no limit tournaments.
You
Sure.
play Limit? What do you watch like? Oh my god, dude! You play Limit, John? What's wrong with you?
Online, I played no limit, but that was when poker was available online. It's not.
Wait, it's
Still
still
He plays.
available
available.
that
He's
one.
a he's
It
a
depends on
he's a
where you live.
Limit player.
Really
He's a
depends on where
Limit
you live.
player,
I can play poker online.
You have a problem with
dude.
players?
I clearly. Yeah, I think that they're like. I don't respect them as much as a no limit player.
Fine, I don't need your respect. I've been around the game when
Us.
when they used to
That's
play low
convenient.
ball.
Okay. So,
I bet you didn't even used to go to casinos when they played games like that.
like what, low ball?
Yeah,
No, I've never even heard of that.
that's what I mean. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't know
With
what you're
regards to
talking
what, low
about.
ball? Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Have
With
you ever
regards
heard
to
a
low
game
Is
ball.
that
called
Yeah.
is that why you weren't talking about low ball, Tom?
When you go to those card clubs, it used to be what? Pan, low ball, seven
Jesus,
card stud. Do you remember that before Hold'em? You probably.
I don't.
This is weird. This is another instance of you asking me a question that I've already answered like literally 3 to 4 times.
You don't
I've
even
never
know
even
what
heard of
pan
low
is.
ball. Do you understand? What?
Never mind, dude. You're just a noob. You
Although,
probably saw Moneymaker and you thought you were all hot on.
what's moneymaker?
Is he? He's talking about Chris Moneymaker, like the
Oh,
WSOP main event champion from like what, 2004 or something.
2003.
ha! Yeah, dumbass.
Wait, so knowing
Yeah.
that means
2003.
wait, he knows about it. So wait, doesn't that mean that John Lee sucks because he knows about? Wait, I'm confused. Wait, these are utterances. Never mind. We're all good.
Do you see how defensive he got when he was exposed as a limit player? He really got upset. Oh.
It just lets you know I've been around a long time when it comes to the game of poker. Even when I was a child.
Therefore, what?
Therefore, you don't know what you're talking about.
Therefore, you don't know what you're talking.
Therefore, I don't know what I'm talking about with regards to what, like antiquated poker.
The basics of the gaming industry, card
Oh,
playing. You probably don't even know how to play Crazy Pineapple.
I've never even heard of that.
I played it before. I don't remember the rules.
I only bet on euchre.
Euchre. Strange. There's so many different ways to
Crazy
play
Pineapple
euchre.
is like, I remember you have to like pick something. I forgot. I don't remember the specifics of
Yeah,
it.
I think I remember. Uh-huh.
Nice.
I mean, I don't remember the game exactly. So what?
I
So
used to
don't
play a
pretend you
3-card
know things
poker.
then.
When I used to go on cruises, they
You
always had these 3-card poker tables, and you could make so much money. But cruises are all like, they had like fixed limits on all the tables on the cruises, where it was like
No,
some
that's not
tables
true. What did you cruise in the early
were,
2000s or something?
yes, it was
What,
2008 and it
John?
was Royal Caribbean.
When
John,
So
you're
it
a
was
limit
like,
player. It's fine. It's okay. Don't
when you
worry,
go on a
man.
cruise these days, they actually have games where you play on a table. It's a video, but it's a live
oh,
game. It's no limit as well, and you could buy in with
that's
your roomie.
crazy. I was doing $100 blackjack high limit games, and it was so much.
John,
Cruising
you're
Yeah,
a
I
limit
pool.
like.
player. It's fine, dude. A lot of people are. It's no big
I
deal,
really only
man.
played
I
blackjack.
used to bank 10,000 on Pai Gow poker, but that was years ago.
See, but Tom, the high limit stuff, the stuff like that on the cruise, it was like all they had. They like, it was really weird back
And that's
then.
fine, I mean, like, there's a lot of retired people, and like
A
John
lot of
can,
old people, yeah,
clean up with the
fixed budgets.
people like after they play bingo and stuff, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but I mean the way
Fine.
that you put down limit players. Come on, Tom. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Maybe just you.
I mean, I could play no limit. I prefer limit, and that's my strength. That's when I can consistently win on, and I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I live
Sounded
near
like you had a
Atlantic
problem with
City.
it.
John, have you ever been to Atlantic City? You should.
Yes, I have. In
I
fact,
love it here.
I've been to probably, I don't even want to say, but I mean, when I go traveling, I've been to all 50 states and places like Pennsylvania, New York, upstate. I mean, there's casinos. Even recently, I went to a little bit north of Manhattan in New York. There's
Hmm.
I forgot the name of it, but yeah, I mean, I go to places like.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Atlantic City's nice. The Tropicana, Golden Nugget.
No, the Atlantic City is a dive. I mean, if you go to like the Taj Mahal or just even the Harris properties, I mean,
I've never been to Vegas, so I don't like my.
no, Atlantic City is run down big time. I mean, I don't know the last time you've been there, but it's horrible.
I live 30
The
minutes
the
away.
the, the places, the places like Foxwoods or something, Indian reservations, they're highly, uh, modern, far more than Atlantic City. I wouldn't even
That's
go
all
there.
we have here.
Yeah, I gotta go to the Foxwoods. I gotta get away from Atlantic City. I love Tropicana. There's a karaoke bar in there. That's so.
I mean, John, I didn't know that you were a limit player. So I mean,
Well,
look,
I'm
it's
sorry to
fine, man.
disappoint you,
It's not even
but I
a
do
big
play
deal.
no
Yeah,
limit.
it's
I
fine.
do.
It's fine. It's not even a big deal,
I
right? I
do
mean,
play no limit
limit players
online
are
and things like that.
limit players are good. Yeah, of course they're right. Of course they are.
Yeah, and if I do play no limit, I'll buy in $40 and play 1-2 no
$40
limit.
no
I
limit.
mean things like that.
Wow.
Just to
Wow.
mess around.
$40.
40 bucks sounds like a
Big
limit.
spender over here.
Wow,
No,
man.
it's because I don't want to risk too much playing no limit. I just play it to mess around.
Uh-oh, here he goes to like when you
It's not really
when you go
trying to
all
win.
in,
Yeah, but
when you go
listen,
all
I
in with
play
that
20
40
40
bucks, is it really
limit. Okay,
dramatic?
you know how much
Push your
you pay
chips
for
in and
20
say,
40 limit.
I'm all in for 40.
Just the way that sounded. Yeah, I'll go all in for the 40 or even 24 if that's all I have left.
What game are
Oh
y'all talking
man.
about?
Hearthstone.
Any no limit blind game, blackjack, poker, stuff.
Oh,
It's not going to be
I,
blackjack.
I don't play any of that. I have no idea.
Blackjack is a blinds game. You're dealing with blinds, right?
Well, I mean, you bet. You
I
move
mean,
your
even
cards.
even
Not really.
before
I
that,
guess that's not blind.
I mean, even
It's
before they had Texas
just a
Hold'em,
bet, though.
they used to have these casinos where you can play the bank at the casinos, and there was people that literally, uh, that's all they would do is just play the bank and against people playing
Literally?
blackjack. I don't know if anyone remembers things like
No,
John,
you wouldn't have that here.
since you're a limit player, you know how it works with like the like one pair, two pair, set, like straight flush. You know how full house. You know how do you know all that?
that. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. I thought. Well,
You
you're a
know
limit player.
about
I wasn't sure.
jackpots, hard way, easy way, all that?
What?
No, what is that?
You gotta be kidding me. You know what a bad beat jackpot is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you have, let's say, aces full and you're beaten with an aces full, then it's called an easy way, a jackpot. A hard way is when you four of a kind beating four of a kind in a Texas Hold'em game.
Oh, yeah.
Super
Gotcha.
hard, you get a jackpot.
See, this is why
Yeah,
I wish we were all
if you don't
together.
know that, Tom, I mean, I question whether you even went to a casino to play. What do you
I
play?
assume that's
Online
something
pennies
separate
or something?
Those are
from a
like
table
really
Well, I
game.
mean,
niche
you're just all
terms.
you're really pointing out is that I don't know like specific terminology that you know, but
What kind of
I know the reference.
poker player doesn't know about bad beat jackpots? Come on.
And I know about bad beat jackpots, and I know the distinction between them, right? But I don't know the terminology that you're talking about.
Hard way and
What's
easy
that supposed
way? You
to?
don't know that.
No. I
Exactly.
mean, I know literally,
You
like I
think you
didn't
played
when
crazy
people.
pineapple once, right? Maybe you played Omaha twice. Is that what
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't even think I've ever played Omaha.
But you want to berate
What's the
me because I'm
difference?
a limit player? Unbelievable.
No, I'm not berating. I'm proud of you for going all in after your limit play for 40. Great. I mean, I'm really proud of all your hero calls on the river for 20. I'm really proud of you.
Doesn't
trying
take
to think
much
the
to make
other.
a hero call on a limit game.
You ever play
Yeah, that's the
Caribbean
point.
Stud?
Yeah, I
Caribbean?
played those before.
I
No, I
just
never heard of Caribbean.
pictures from my cruise, and it was all Caribbean Stud that was being played. I thought it was 3 card, but
You like those table games, huh?
they're fun.
Oh, the 3 card is
Yeah.
Caribbean?
The problem is that the
Yeah.
house has such an edge, and
Right.
that's the problem with those.
Yeah, but when alcohol on the cruise is so expensive, if you sit at a table, you get free alcohol. It's so.
Yeah, I guess.
John, are you a drinker? You get a little tipsy?
Yeah, I may drink what once a month, maybe.
He likes Mai Tais.
It's a good thing this guy's a Catholic.
No,
Jeez.
no, you
Is it that
don't.
Actually, I
time?
You
like
like
Bloody
my
Marys.
time.
If you must ask.
Is it that time of the month now, John?
I like Bloody Marys, and I like also Black Russians, and,
Ew.
and
Bloody Mary's nice, but Black Russian, any cream is better.
yeah, I kind of been going into White Russians, but I mean, I guess I kind of grew up on the Black Russians. I mean, kind of used to it.
Mm.
The Mai Tais, though, threw me. I wasn't expecting Mai Tais to come out of.
Well, I mean, I
It's
could
like,
start throwing them terms like scorpions around too. I mean,
wait, Mai Tais are good. No, hold up. People sleep on Mai Tais. It's a good.
What's the flavor profile of a Mai Tai? I don't think I've had. Like I know a Moscow Mule is like a
Just
ginger
not
ale.
alcohol. It doesn't taste like
No.
alcohol.
I mean, like, is there like a fruit associated? Like pina coladas, pineapple, and
Yeah, it's like a rum lime
The girl drinks.
thing.
you know what
well,
girl
It's like
drink
orange.
nothing
I
wrong
get
with girl
laughed at
drinks.
for sometimes. I like to order Malibu pineapple,
Girl
and
drinks.
sometimes I get laughed at for that.
Girl
Yeah, but
drinks.
these
Oh,
girl
Malibu's a
drinks are
crappy.
so tasty and they fuck you up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
does
not
he
the
not like the
goal for
taste of
me.
real alcohol? He just has to have a lot of cream and sugar in it and juice.
No,
And then straight
listen.
vodka.
I drink Jack Daniel's
I
neat. I also
That's
drink
right.
Scotch. You know,
That's more
things
like.
like that.
I was drinking vodka
Cognac.
flavored vodka drinks there at the.
I was drinking cranberry vodkas for like 10 years of my life every day.
Yeah, I like
It
that.
was it was a mood for 10.
Good drink for college.
That's what I was doing. That's exactly what it was. I was studying and taking I'd have cranberry juice in the fridge and vodka. And that's all you need. And ice.
Yeah, I mean, growing up though, it was pretty much like beer and tequila or something like that.
I needed one less thing. I just need ice and vodka.
Tequila.
How
What
about if
kind of beer
you
do you into,
I
John?
asked for
squeeze a
lemon, but the
I used to
lemon
drink
never came.
Bud, but I mean,
squeeze
right
a
now
lime
I
in
love
and squeeze
craft
a lemon?
beers.
Lemon's really good with the
Right
vodka.
now, my favorite bottled beer is probably like Negro Modelo.
That's okay. Wait, I like those. You ever have Yinglings?
Sure.
Yinglings are good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Oh.
I like dark beer. I've been liking dark beers,
You like
even stout.
Newcastle Brown?
Yeah,
Mm.
Newcastle, very
Nice.
good.
All my friends are into those IPAs and it tastes like
I hate
garbage.
IPAs. But
Yeah, my wife's into those IPAs.
Oh, I just thought of a joke. So, hey, oh guys, what did Anakin Skywalker say when